GEC off of the general meter reading.
Tell me, did the region issue receipts for those payments?
Yes, the region issued receipts for every payment you would have made. Should you refuse to pay for a month or a couple of months, they'll send you a warning. If you don't go in and pay, they disconnect your light until you paid. And then they would send back their electricians to reconnect your lights.
Now tell me, well, of course, to get electricity, you had to have electricity poles, you had to have wires. Who installed those? How were they installed?
Well, what used to happen, the region wasn't responsible for ensuring the pole and the wire is close proximity to your home. So wherever the wire stopped, you had to buy poles and wire reaching there. So my parents, they bought 2 poles and 3 lengths of wire reaching from the corner out in front up to here. And that's how we got lights. And when you would have done that work, facilitating the wiring and the pole up to your yard, you had to get a certified electrician to come in and run your wire in your house. At that time, our house was incomplete. So we had a temporary box placed in the yard, and they did the certification for that. And the region sent their electricians to see if everything is okay. It was okay. They did the connection, and we started paying our bills.
And the region would collect money from you.
Yes.
And they had a master meter, you said.
Yes.
Where was this master meter located?
It was located in the regional sub-office compound on the government hill. That's
Okay.
when you're going up to the Camp Stevenson base camp. That's where the sub-office is.
Okay. And so after a while, the residents all got electricity?
Yes, because everybody would purchase wire or pole as it would be needed to reach to their home, right? So all the persons would just keep connecting, running the wire and the pole. Obviously, the connection was done by the region.
Okay. What is the state of that regional meter? What do you call it?
The
Sub-regional?
sub-regional
Yeah, well,
master
what's
meter.
master meter? What's the position of that?
Most were made by the government and in collaboration with the RDC for whatever reason to close down the regional sub-office. Now the regional sub-office served the East Bank and the Suzdijk Linden Highway and areas like Tamarind. Tamarind is not a local authority area. It comes directly under the RDC.
Okay, so Timehri is actually not a local authority area.
Yes.
So your principal regional body or principal neighborhood body is the Regional Democratic
Yes,
Council.
yes.
Ah, right. And water.
Water.
Did you eventually get water in here?
Yes, we applied to the water company and we did the necessary things, taking you whatever, showing your home ownership. At the time, we were allowed to take in receipts. All
Receipts
the
of what?
receipts for your materials that you would have purchased to construct a home, showing yes, you actually own a home, and you were issued with the service.
Where did you have to take these receipts?
You
and
take
proof
it
of-
into Guywood, the water company, and they would hook
Where?
up.
This is in Georgetown?
Peters Hall would service.
Oh,
the
Peters
East
Hall.
Bank.
Peters Hall, right? Yeah.
Yes, and they would come. They would send out the mobile crew to come and do the connection. However, wherever the blue pipe, the length of Guywood pipe stopped, you had to purchase pipelines from there, taking it into your yard.
Okay, and did they come and install water meters?
Yes.
Who installed these water meters?
The Guywood Water Company.
They came in. So most of the homes up here actually have water meters.
Yes, most of the homes up until when they stopped, the airport authority calling these utility companies and asked them to stop issuing services to the residents.
When did that happen? Tell me about that.
That happened around, I say, like, not clear. But
Average.
That happened a few years back.
A few years.
Like 2007. Yes.
Okay, so the airport authority told the utility companies after they had installed the meters years after to stop
Stop doing new connections.
doing new connections.
Yes, GT&T, they call in GPL because there was,
No, you said GT&T. So there are telephones as well here?
yes, we have telephones.
And you got telephone bills for the telephone company?
Yes, we have telephone bills. We had telephones since our code was 061. Now it's 261.
So when they installed telephones here, the code was still 061.
Yes, it was.
Wow, and quite a few residents here have,
Yes, quite a few residents have telephones.
and people in this neighborhood have, some people have internet facilities.
Yeah, some persons have internet facilities.
Then the politicians got involved. Philomena Sahoy Shuri and Ripu Daman Prasad, the then Minister of Agriculture, visited Timehri and held a meeting for residents of Timehri at the Timehri Primary School to discuss their regularization.
Well, as far as I understand, during the process of time, when the people were, they had interceded or they were interacting with, I think it's Philomena Sahoy Shuri. She was the parliamentary secretary in the Ministry of Housing and Water. And because they were agitating for regularization of the area, what has happened is that when they were removed from the base road and they came here, they started establishing themselves. Then the people at the GAC Old Road, now called Cali Road, had they came subsequent to that. That's Timehri South, and they had started squatting there. And it was discovered that the attention was being paid to the people at Timehri South, and that those persons were in the process of getting some sort of recognition, official recognition from the government. And so the people at Timehri North start agitating for it. And Ms. Philomena Sahoy Shuri, she was the person who was interacting with these people. There were a lot of things that they promised the people at Timehri North, like regularization would be very soon and so on. And they went about telling them that there are certain things that they must do. They must have how the wiring must be fixed to have to be hooked up to the national grid and so on. And those persons went ahead. Now, as a result of Ms. Sahoy Shuri's assurance of regularization, people started building their concrete houses because they were long waiting for this opportunity. So,
So permanent structures went up.
yes,
With the government's
with the government
approval.
and approval.
And they actually got house losses.
Yes.
And you think that this Ms. Shuri, Sahoy Shuri, was part of this process,
And she was part of the ministry also.
and she was part of the ministry at the
Yes,
time.
at the ministry.
Now I have to ask you this question: Timehri North, is it in the flight path?
No, absolutely not.
Can you tell us geographically where the community of Timehri North is located in relation to the actual runway?
West of the runway. Timehri North is located west of the main runway that is supposed to be expanded by the, that is proposed to be expanded by the government. Now, it runs, as I should say then, parallel to that runway.
Okay.
So there is no interference. There might be a few houses